guys, this is my autoethnography project. I'm going to move this real quick. All right. So for my introduction, I wrote a variety of papers and conducted lots of research this semester for this course. It was both a challenge and a learning experience here in Writing 1120. According to the framework of success in post-secondary writing, there are many helpful ways to approach writing and be mindful while you're doing it, and those are referred to as the habits of mind. For me, I feel I've grown as a writer because I've maintained habits of mind in my writing like openness, engagement, and persistence. All right, so some challenges I've encountered. One challenge I encountered in this course was time management. I overloaded myself with credit hours this semester, so it's been very difficult trying to find time to complete some of these writing assignments. The second challenge I faced was writing the research paper. It was very difficult. It was the first time I've ever written a research paper in that fashion before. I've only ever written like argumentative research papers. So this research paper was a bit difficult because it was 6,000 words and I wasn't familiar with it. All right, so the way I overcame these challenges, for time management, I started my papers earlier and I was able to complete all of my writing assignments on time for this class. Another way I overcame the stress of writing was by going to office hours and listening to peer feedback. So that was a good way to get started early and like figure out what I was having troubles with and stuff like that. All of these skills allowed me to complete this course successfully and understand what was required of me as a research writer and a student in Writing 1120. I maintained openness as I approached my writing through peer reviews. I did this by reading my peer reviews and adjusting my writing to better communicate and construct my ideas and findings. So one example, I also mentioned this in my introduction to the ePortfolio. I changed my topic question to better reflect and communicate my findings for my future research paper. I did this by just changing the wording. I originally had it say are, and then I ended up saying how instead to like expand topics that I could talk about in my research paper. And I'll show you. All right. So right here is where I changed it. I had someone tell me that I should change R to how, and that would give me more topics to talk about in my actual paper that I was going to write in the future. All right. And then my next example was my revised version of my research project. Based on peer and professor feedback, I organized my methods section differently. I organized it by ideas rather than survey and interview instrument. And I'll show you this as well. This is a big paper. All right. One moment. So as you can see, I organized it by ideas. And I still like broke it up into surveys and interviews, but I organized it by idea rather than survey question 1, survey question 2. All right, and then here's some examples of the peer review. Here, I'll move my screen again. Here's some peer review for my initial version research project. And then this was for my project description that I just talked about. So all of these, I paid attention to peer review and then adjusted accordingly just to show like I was listening, like thank you for the input, like I want to expand my ideas and become a better writer. All right. Okay. So the next one was engagement. I engaged with my peers and I applied it to my writing. And I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but through like peer reviews and talking to my peers and also conducting peer reviews for my other peers, it was beneficial to me and to them because I could keep editing and revising my ideas and I could give them ideas on how they could expand like what they want to talk about and better convey their ideas through written communication. And that's also a learning objective here in this class. And then for my last one, I demonstrated persistence when approaching writing. I had to demonstrate quite a bit of persistence to learn how to become a better writer and researcher. For example, I was persistent when I wrote both my initial and final version research project. Gathering all of my research and synthesizing it was hard, but I persisted. Like I started early and I kept writing a little bit each day. I would pay attention to peer feedback and professor feedback and would ask for help when I needed it. I was also persistent in learning how to better my writing skills through the Bunn and Anson and Forsberg annotations. I wanted to pay like close attention to how they were writing their like written papers and stuff like that, so I could better understand like the writing process that they went through and how I could apply it to my own. Especially with the Anson and Forsberg, that particular one was a research paper, so it was very interesting being able to read it and then see how I could apply it to my own. And then what does this mean for the future? The skills I learned in Writing 1120 will assist me with future research and writing assignments I'll encounter in undergrad. Most college degrees have capstone and research projects your senior year, and it's the same thing with my major. So this was a great class. Organizing and synthesizing peer-reviewed secondary and primary sources will be an important skill to apply in future research and capstone courses. And peer review and writing multiple drafts for revision will be useful approaches to writing large papers and projects. And then in conclusion, Writing 1120 assisted me in growing and attaining new skills as a writer here at BGSU. Learning new habits and approaches toward writing allowed me to overcome my writing challenges and apply them to the future. So, yeah.